All right. Hey everyone, welcome back to Scareticulous. So, I'm going to be doing a kind of off-the-cuff review of the end of Oak Street and just kind of give you guys my thoughts. I'm going to tell you basically kind of an overview of the film. This is going to be spoiler-free, except for like the last few minutes of the video. Then I'm going to get into spoilers because there's some things I just have to talk about. But I'll let you know before I get to that point. Before I get into it, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. If you'd like to donate for me to do a special video for you, feel free to go in the descriptions and hit my pay links, all right? So let's get right into it. So The End of Oak Street, starring Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor, a family that's from the 80s, funnily enough. It's kind of like a period piece, which they don't really advertise about the film in any of the advertising, any of the previews. You just kind of meant to assume, okay, it's just a family. You assume it's current day, right? But it is actually a period piece. This actually takes place in 1982. And yes, so it is the 80s. I think it's kind of meant to evoke this time period of like Steven Spielberg films, you know, like E.T., Jurassic Park, like that kind of thing, made to kind of make you think of like more nostalgic stuff. Like you do have like a little nod to Stranger Things in here as well. There's a couple of references that you'd be like, oh, that kind of reminds, it's more like allusions, kind of reminds you of Stranger Things. Yeah, clearly, you know, this is a J.J. Abrams joint, but it was directed by David Robert Mitchell, who did It Follows, which might be a strange film to kind of, you know, come before this movie. It doesn't really have much in common, I guess, except for the foreboding sense of dread that you kind of feel with both movies. And first and foremost, this is a horror movie. It's not like your typical, you know, kind of horror genre kind of fare. There's no ghosts, there's no demons, there's nothing like that. There's no possessions, there's nothing like that of modern day horror in here. This is more like a, you know, like what if, you know, you were transported to the dinosaur age. It's kind of like almost like a cheesy concept on its face. There's nothing original about that. It's not like the concept is that original. It's like a Twilight Zone Jurassic Park kind of deal, right? It's almost like it's a reverse Jurassic Park, actually, right? Instead of us transporting the dinosaurs to our time, we're being transported to this other time. But what makes this interesting is like the community aspect, how the whole town is transported to the age of the dinosaurs, right? We don't know exactly when, but anywhere from like I guess 200 to 65 million years ago is basically when, you know, they get transported to. And what I like about the film is that it's not like this like sudden thing where they just get transported and then they just look around, there's dinosaurs everywhere. It's not like that simple. Like there's little things that kind of, you know, breadcrumb them along to realizing the truth, that it feels more like a Twilight Zone episode at that point, where it's like, okay, what's happening? Something weird is happening here. The water doesn't work, the electricity's off, nobody's home. Just strange that it's a lot hotter for some reason. Like just small little details start to add up, right? The dog's missing. You know, little things start to kind of creep in, this kind of paranoia of something is happening, this dread, right? Like I was saying, like with It Follows, there's this dread, this impending doom that you feel in the air. It's like palpable, right? It's thick. And so that's kind of like what you feel as the movie progresses. Now, obviously there's the point where the dinosaurs start to come out, you start to see them, they start to end. Let me tell you, okay, without sugarcoating it, okay, this is hands down one of the best Jurassic Park movies in years. Okay, I think I would definitely even rate it above the last Jurassic World movie, which some people were kind of hit or miss. Like some people liked it and some didn't like it, kind of on the fence about it. I liked it. I enjoyed it for what it was. It didn't really overcomplicate the Jurassic Park formula. You know, it just kind of did, you know, it was an audience pleasing kind of movie, right? It wasn't anything to get up in arms about. It wasn't as offensive as Jurassic World Dominion, right? Like that was an offensive piece of shit, right? And you didn't feel like the impending doom or dread of the dinosaurs. You didn't feel like they were this, you know, this species that, you know, they were always on the precipice. Like you were always worried to like bump into one, or that you might get killed by one. The people in that movie, they never are in any real sense of danger. Whereas in this movie, you're dealing with ordinary people in a neighborhood and people get killed. Spoilers. Not quite spoilers yet, but yes, people get killed. This is not like a when people, I've heard people say this is like, you know, like a Spielbergian kind of film, like, oh, it's kind of because J.J. Abrams has this like affinity for Steven Spielberg, and I can see it with like the overall like story of the movie. But let me tell you, this movie, it is scary. Like there's like, it made me feel things. Like, this is a movie that I've not felt something in a movie theater experience for a while now. Probably not since Obsession. I think Obsession was the last time I was really like feeling something. Like Brand New Day, Spider-Man was okay. I was like, I liked it, but it didn't make me like totally, like, I wasn't locked in totally. I was like, kind of like, it was good, but it wasn't like great. This movie is great, and it does a few things very well. That dread of like the dinosaurs, the dinosaurs are actually scary. They actually feel real in this movie. And there's all kinds of like different ones. They don't just like cop out and be like, here's a T-Rex, here's a Stegosaurus, you know. They have lots of different ones, and ones that get like really scary. Like, for example, there's a snake scene that is just terrifying. And then there's this one part of the movie. I'm gonna get into spoilers now, okay? Because I feel like I've kind of told you guys what you basically need to know about it. If you like what I've said so far, you're probably going to enjoy it. If you go watch it and you know what to expect, this is not just like, yeah, adventure film, yeah, fun, right? No, this kind of gets scary, and it turns like devastating at a certain point in the movie, and you're like, oh my god, like it almost like emotionally wrecked me. But here's when I'm gonna get into spoilers, okay? So the father, played by Ewan McGregor, he, you know, the whole complication between him and Anne Hathaway's character in this movie is, you know, they're kind of butting heads. They're your typical husband and wife, and they don't get along, right? They're not, you know, they have issues, and they're thinking about getting divorced or something. And, you know, Anne Hathaway's character's thinking about maybe setting forth on her own. She wants to get away from her family. She wants to get away from her husband. She just doesn't feel like she belongs there anymore. She's not happy anymore, right? And so once they get transported back in time, it kind of does this reorganization of priorities. They start hashing things out. You know, the argument happens between him and her. They make sure everything gets out in the open now, that some developments and growth happening. And she ultimately decides at a certain point she is going to be there for her family. There's actually a point, because, you know, there is these like time orbs or whatever, right? These little wormholes, I guess, where apparently they lead back to the time from where they came. I don't really understand how they work. The movie doesn't bother to really explain how they work. There's no like government facility where there's a conspiracy. It's not like that kind of Stranger Things where this is all being engineered by some, you know, company or whatever. I mean, who knows? They could do a sequel where that happens. But in this movie, there's literally nothing. There's no, like, none of that stuff. It's literally just like a weird time anomaly, okay? Where, you know, time periods just kind of swap with each other, and it's weird. Why dinosaurs? Why hundreds of millions of years ago? We don't know. It's just the movie happened, okay? So that's just what it is. You know, obviously the family starts to work together, and you're just kind of rooting for them, right? There's a son and a daughter, and, you know, the kid's got like crush on this girl, and, you know, the sister, she's feeling sad because she feels like displaced, and, you know, you kind of get it from their point of view a little bit. But at a certain point in the movie locks the fuck in, because this is when the movie doesn't just talk about it, it is about it. Okay, so that whole thing about like the family dynamics where the husband and wife are fighting, and she doesn't know whether she wants to stay or go, and, you know, his place as like a man of the house, and, you know, watching over and caring for his family. Like, at some point, decision that the father makes, he goes to save Anne Hathaway, and the dinosaur that's just about to chomp the out of her, you think it's just going to go one way, like, okay, he's going to distract the dinosaur, and it's, you know, he's going to run away, and they're going to figure out a way out of it, right? But no, the dinosaur fucking eats Ewan McGregor. Yeah, first chops his leg off. He's just there in pain. At first, I couldn't believe what I saw. I was like, did they actually fucking do that? Did they actually eat Ewan McGregor's fucking leg? I guess he's gonna walk around with like a, you know, a peg leg the whole time. And then the dinosaur fucking eats Ewan McGregor. And I couldn't fucking believe that the movie had the balls to do that. And I was like traumatized watching. I was like, oh my God, I really cared about this family and these characters. Like, Ewan McGregor he was a nice guy. He was a nice father just trying to support his family. He took like, you know, a pathetic pizza delivery job just to take care of them. And it's like, you know, you don't realize how much you care about the family until that happens. And then by the end of the movie, there's like this little time portal thing in the family. You know, a bunch of crazy shit happens but before this happens, but they jump through a portal because they have these little pockets, right? These time portal pockets so they can jump through. And so they jump in and they go back to their time, except it's like something out of Back to the Future where they go back like a half hour before the town got transported to the dinosaur age. And so they're there before the town gets transported. And so what Anne Hathaway does is she places a call to her husband who is delivering pizzas that night. And he drives out there with her outside of the perimeter of town, right? They're outside of that. And he meets them there and he's alive because they literally went back to their own time period. And the whole town gets transported again. And there's like this happy ending where, you know, Anne Hathaway is like this, she's like successful and she's helping people to, you know, who survived, and tertiary ones you get to know throughout the movie. There's a little bit of a weird ending where like, I don't know if there's like actual, like, because they brought some other people back from the dinosaur age, like when they got transported and they went back to their own time period, now there's like doubles of certain people. So that's a little weird, and it just kind of ends like that. I think the ending was a little bit fumbled because I think the main point was like, you know, family should stick together and that they're, you know, she cares enough to stay and be with, you know, her family. But it seemed more about like her just being successful and, you know, while also keeping her family. So it's like, I guess it's like she can have her cake and eat it too, but it was just a little weird. It was handled a little weird. But besides that, the movie was great. I enjoyed it immensely. I was on the edge of my seat, which rarely happens when I'm watching a movie. Like, you usually think like, you know, the character is going to get out of it. It's not, you know, any real danger. Even like with like a demon possession movie, you're not really that concerned for the characters, right? Like, you think like at some point something's going to happen and then the demon's going to disappear or the ghost is going to disappear and then it's going to be business as usual, right? They're very formulaic now. But with this movie, it's like, there's no one coming to help them. There's no one coming to save them. How are they going to get out of this, right? It's literally just by pure chance. And do the characters make some dumb decisions throughout the movie? Like, yes, but they do it out of a sense of love. And there is one part of the movie, I will say, the dog. You will cheer for this dog. And I have to say, because I had a pet named Starbuck who died last year at 17 years old, I felt a lot when it comes to that pet Starbuck. And even though it was a dog, I felt like very similarly about that pet. And it's like the pet comes and saves the day and you're just sitting in your seat cheering, like, yeah, like, it's one of those movies where, you know, because a lot of movies from the 80s, they kind of give you that rush. Like, they make you feel like, yeah, they're going to get out of this. And, you know, if they just stick together and they, whatever, right? Something's going to come and save the day, right? It's like then the happy ending happens. And there is a similar kind of through line, but there's way more treachery in this movie than anything I fell for, you know, an 80s movie. An 80s movie always feels like kind of cheesy, but this is like, the stakes feel real. So I just had to like put that out there, and you know, it's a great movie. I think if you are a horror fan, you owe it to yourself to watch it. If you didn't enjoy this movie and you saw it, you don't have a soul. I'm sorry to tell you. You just are soulless, and I feel sorry for you. But anyway, that was the end of Oak Street. Let me know what you guys think of my review. Let me know if you guys saw it in the theater. Tell me what you thought of it. Leave me a little comment. Thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see y'all next time on Scareticulous. Until then, stay scared.